know what it is for you, but you do. But let me ask you this. Are you hesitating? What's keeping you from going forward? You're listening to Empty Nexters, a podcast about finding joy, beauty, and wonder in the next season of life. What's your next? Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Empty Nexter podcast. I'm Shelly, and I am so happy to be with you today as we dive into another standalone podcast episode with just me, yours truly, just talking about just things I'm learning as I'm growing as an empty nexter. And that is the goal. Again, I probably say it all the time. Our goal is to find our next and live in our next season with joy and purpose. And I'm trying to do that. So I thought, hey, why not invite all my friends to come along with me? It's more fun when we do this together anyway, isn't it? So with that being said, I pray this episode encourages you. I hope that you sense the theme that we try to convey across the Empty Nexter community, that we are trying to live out our best next. And that means for me personally, I'm continuing to learn and grow. And the Lord keeps bringing things to my attention that He goes, Shelly, you might want to rethink that. Or let's flip the script, so to speak, which seems to be my phrase of choice lately. Hey, let's flip the script on some of the stuff we started out thinking that maybe we just need to, as they say these days, reframe. So with that being said, the topic today is a slight bit of a tongue twister, and it is just about learning to say no, but not being ashamed or not being guilty. So I'm titling this, Just Say Yes to the Word No. So let's dive in. All right, I'm going to say a phrase, and when I say it, I want you as fast as you can, wherever you are, yell it out. Who or what company made this phrase popular? Just do it. All right, 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. All right, okay. I think I heard somebody say Adidas, Puma, Vans. No, it's Nike. Come on, everybody. You should know that by now. Nike. I mean, Air Jordans are like the best. I had Nikes back in the day, but I'm a Van girl now because, you know, they're comfy, and I wear size comfort now as I'm getting older and learning just to embrace the season that my body is in these days. And they have those memory foam things inside the shoes. So I like my Vans. But anyway, I digress. I'm getting off track, which I tend to do, but it's so fun. Why not get off track every now and again? But the Just Do It motivational slogan, it encourages people. So listen when I say this. Number 1, take action. We all like to take action, right? So number 2, get out and push past your doubts or hesitations. Quit doubting yourself. Stop hesitating. Get out there and do it. It speaks to the idea of not overthinking or making excuses, but simply going for something and committing to it. Whether it's in sports, fitness, or life, it's a call to overcome obstacles and take the next step towards a better you. That slogan is widely recognized and has become synonymous with that brand, which is Nike. It identifies empowerment, determination, and resilience. And I think it's a great slogan, to be honest with you. But I don't disagree with anything in that slogan. But in Shelly's brain, I'm thinking, I wonder if we again, flipped that script and looked at it a different way. This is the way I would read it in my season of life, and maybe in your season of life too. Again, Empty Nexters, yes, it's a community of those more advanced, mature women that maybe the kids have left the house and you've retired and you're living your best next. But this also applies to our young ones as well. Because remember, my goal is to clear the path for y'all so that when y'all come up at 50 and 60, the path is clear and you don't get stumbled or tripped up because nobody told you. Shelly told you. These Empty Nexter ladies told you. I just want to do that. I just want to put out all the warning signs, all the red, the yellow flags that say, stop, think a minute before you do that. That's my heart. So with that being said, we're going to say Shelly's version of the Just Do It slogan. Shelly's slogan. Stop hesitating and start living out your calling. This is me. If I were to talk to myself, I say it all the time at the end of our podcast. I go, if you could tell your 30-year-old self, what would you say? This would be Shelly talking to Shelly at 30. Mind you, I just had 3 kids. My last one, I had my daughter at 29, so I was done having my children. And I was in the middle of raising my children. So I didn't think, I was just trying to, grind it out or get through the day or manage every day, all the crazy and figure out my life, try to get a shower and a bath between kids crying and homeschooling and going to church, all the things. But Shelly, stop hesitating. Start living out your calling. Trust in God's strength to overcome obstacles and take action. And this is the part I wish I would have just kicked myself, even when it's difficult. Just like that powerful message behind the Just Do It slogan, faith calls for us, Shelly, and all of you to move forward without overthinking or making excuses. It's all about commitment, resilience, and stepping boldly into God's purpose for our life. So when we think about it like that, the phrase is great. Just do it. Come on, just do it. I believe in you. Just do it. But sometimes we hesitate for whatever reason. I've told y'all before, mine's been fear. Mine's always been like that fear. Like, what do people think? Or what if I fall? Or what if I stumble? DC Talk had a song back in the day. It was said that word. What if I fall? What if I stumble? And you know what? What if you do? We're all going to be right there to catch you. We're all going to be right there to pick you back up and kiss those boo-boos and put Band-Aids on. Just like, we did when our kids were little. We want to move forward in that next, which I don't know what it is for you, but you do. But let me ask you this. Are you hesitating? What's keeping you from going forward? Is it the season you're in? Okay, I understand. Seasons come, and sometimes we get those little ones, and man, their life is demanding, and it's, like I said, it's all you can do to get a shower. How about ask God to show you, where can I find a pocket of time for me to figure out what is it that brings me joy in this season? And don't hesitate anymore. Is it just maybe you invite some other moms to your house and have coffee? Put all the kids on the ground? I know you young moms are going, you say, you're adorable. Do you understand the chaos that brings? Yes, I do. I had little kids at one time, and I remember doing that. What I'm saying is, every season, my season now, I don't want to hesitate anymore. I want to jump out there. Man, like I said before, I want to jump out knowing God's going to meet me right there. And that's what faith is. We have faith to trust that next season. And don't hesitate. Don't walk in fear. So what does that mean when I say yes to the word no? I'm going to give y'all a minute. I know you're probably the little light bulbs going off over all your heads right now. You're like, oh, I see where she's going with this. I know, right? It's fun, isn't it? I know it sounds a little weird, but here's what I mean. So again, I'm talking to myself and you guys are listening. It's like, Shelly, you are saying yes to no longer feeling that you need to be all things to everyone all the time. You're saying yes to the word no. You say yes to the word no more feeling blah, blah. Yes to the word no more making excuses. Yes to the word no more, or the phrase no more hesitating or being full of fear and not living to your fullest potential or calling that God's put in. There's people listening to this podcast. God's put dreams in you, purpose in you. He's given you vision. He's given you creative things to do. What are you waiting on? You are hesitating for some reason. Now, let me throw this out today. If there is not peace, you wait. But if you know in your heart of hearts that it's just fear, come on, man. Call me up. I'll help you. Let's do this together. Let's live out our best next without hesitating. So I want to make a disclaimer. When I say give you permission to say yes to the word no, now listen, I don't need to be getting a lot of phone calls and emails saying, Shelly said yes to the word no and told me I could say no to everything, so I just unplugged from everything. No way, Jose. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to help me free our minds and free ourselves from being bound by that word yes. Because sometimes I think we say yes so much, we don't stop enough to go, why am I saying yes right now? Do I really mean it? Do I really want to say yes to that project or to that event or to that thing that's going to rob me of my stamina, rob me of my joy, cause me to be grouchy to my family, all the things that can happen. So, how does that phrase fit into the empty nexter season? Well, I feel it fits in there just perfectly because as we get older, we can be a little bit wiser about what we say yes to. And we can be wiser about what we say no to. But just remember, sometimes when you say yes, you have to remember that comes with a cost. Saying yes to something means you're having to say no to something else. You're saying yes to going to help that event or going to that party or helping that friend move, but then you're saying no to maybe I should have rested. I should have said no, and why didn't I say no? And the next 3 days I'm paying for it because I hurt my back. Or think about the season you're in. We have to be mindful to never just say yes without really thinking about the cost. Now I'm going to also make a note. We never say no to Jesus. He is always a yes. Yes to our quiet time. Yes to digging in the Word. Yes to, going to church and bringing our best to church because we need each other. I'm not saying we say no to that. So I just feel like as women, we are often allow ourselves to get drained of our stamina, our virtue. I mean, women tend to be the people pleasers. I know I've been caught up in that trap. And it's really hard to set those boundaries. So I had a few things I dealt with that maybe we can be set free together. I'm still walking through it, and I think I had on the scale of 1 to 10, maybe I'm at a 6 now, when before I was probably at a 2. So, progress, it's good. We're moving forward. So I was always fearful of disapproval. I mean, I think people pleasers tend to roll that way. Like if I said no, I would be guilty. I would feel rejected. Or people would think I was selfish or unkind, when that was, if anyone knows me, that they would know that's the furthest thing from my heart. But in my brain, if I don't say yes, then you write the scenario there for yourself. We always have this desire to help as women. We always feel responsible for the well-being of others. And we struggle to let people down. I don't want to let anyone down. There's like workplace and family pressures. I mean, even in the church, sometimes I have felt, maybe even scriptures can sometimes get taken out of context to make us feel like, you need to show up regardless. The Bible says, work hard with all your might. Yeah, it does. But there's also time for rest and time for refreshing and knowing your limits. There's even, times when we self-sacrifice to the extent of our families and just joy in general. Like I've said before, is our family getting the best of us when we've said yes to so many things that they're like, wow, Mom. Like I got to be honest, total transparency, which I try to be on this podcast as much as possible. My family didn't always get the best of me because, church life, I work for my church and I love every minute of it. I do. I love my church, but it's exhausting. Ministry life, I don't care what anybody tells you. It is hard work. It is the most joy-filled hard work ever. But it could also cause me to say yes to so many things that my family didn't always get the best version of Shelly. And I no longer live that way. I have to be mindful that my Father in heaven is first, and then my family, and then my job and the ministry and all those things. And I know we're probably all really pressing towards that, but I just thought, this is something that I'm tending to still work through. Let's work through this together. So learning to say no is a vital skill for setting boundaries. We need to protect our well-being and live according to God's word. So here's some things I put down how we can develop it. And remember, boundaries are not bad. We put boundaries up for our children because we didn't want them to go walking off towards the road. We said, no, don't do that. You know why? Because this will hurt you. Same thing with us. We need boundaries in our own personal life. Shelly, if you keep saying yes to everything, it's going to hurt you, whether it's your physical stamina, your mental, whatever, your relationships with your family because you're not there enough. I mean, all those things. So number one, we need to recognize that saying no is biblical. That's right. Jesus himself said no at times. If you look in Luke 5:16, he withdrew from the crowd to pray. He refused to be controlled by others' expectations. John 6:15. He even reminded our girl Martha that busyness isn't always best. Luke 10:41 and 42. Saying no isn't selfish. It's all about aligning with God's will rather than people pleasing. Again, as people pleasers, we really have to watch that. Number 2, we have to clarify your priorities. Man, I feel like this one is a huge one in the Empty Nexter season. Number 1, Miss Pat, who's one of our Empty Nexters, and she did the Lost in the Leaves episode. If you haven't listened, it's fabulous. She said there's these things I ask myself. She said, number 1, does it align with my values? Does it align with my purpose and season of life? Wow, when she said that, I thought, wow, the things that I did when I was 30, I can't do it anymore. And I have to be okay with that. You know, I remember putting all 3 kids in the buggy going to the Walmart, because we put a "the" in front of everything now, right? I just cracked myself up. I found, my girlfriends were like, yeah, I'm going to the Walmart. I'm going to the Kroger. I'm thinking, when did the get put into everything, in front of everything? It's just so funny. Yeah, I used to do that. Put my kids in the buggy and I'd come home exhausted. Like, wow, why did I do that? Why didn't I just wait till their dad got home and let him watch them? And I went to where I wasn't exhausted. But again, you don't really think through that when you're of a certain age. Now on the other side of it, you're going, if I could do it again, I might have changed that one. Oh, goodness. Then we seek God's guidance. Matthew 6:33, seek first his kingdom before committing. Now, I know there's a balance to all this. We need to overcome guilt and fear of disapproval. People-pleasing can be exhausting. Galatians 1:10. I mean, seriously, I don't want to be exhausted anymore by trying to please everybody and jump through all these unrealistic expectational hoops like that. I mean, like how I did that. I said expectational hoops. That was pretty cool. I could see myself literally jumping through a hoop and then rolling, going, oh my gosh, why did I just do that? But we understand that our worth is not based on what I do. It is found in Christ. Oh, come on, somebody needs to be set free right now. Lift your hands in the air and say that out loud. My worth is not connected to what I do for others. It is connected to my relationship with Jesus Christ. And remember again, saying no to one thing means you're saying yes to something better. Family, relationships, rest, spiritual growth. So don't make excuses when you say no. Matthew 5:37, let your yes be yes and your no be no. So when you say no, walk away. Lovingly, of course. You don't have to give an excuse. You don't have to come up with a reason. I did that for so long. I felt so bad I had to say no. I'd come up with I can't, I wish I could, but I can't. I felt so bad. I'd hem haul around. It's like, I think it's okay for just us to walk away. And again, set those clear boundaries and trust God for the outcome. Wow. I think we just need to trust God. We cannot meet everyone's needs. That is not on us, y'all. It is not on us to meet everyone's needs. So why are you exhausting yourself doing it? Why am I? We have to stop doing that. We have to enter into this next season of giving our heart and time to things that we feel God's called us to do and what we feel we are best at. Yeah, you can be, whatever for the time. So I'm gonna throw out a few phrases that I have heard through the years that I thought were interesting. Number 1, tyranny of the urgent. Tyranny of the urgent refers to the tendency to let immediate. It has to happen right now. You must do it right now. Okay, mind you, I realize there are jobs that require your quick attention just like that. However, there's pressing tasks that take priority that are more important and long-term goals. It happens when we focus on what feels urgent, like answering emails, putting out fires, and handling minor tasks, rather than what truly matters, such as personal growth, relationships, and fulfilling our higher purpose. Okay, all I'm saying is it really worth you coming away from playing that game to go check that email that really didn't matter at that moment? And I'm saying that for myself because I've done that. All I'm saying is let's think differently. The phrase, jack of all trades, master of none. This has been one of those phrases over my life a long time. It refers to someone who has skills in many areas, but really isn't an expert in any particular one. It can sometimes carry a negative connotation, implying that spreading oneself too thin prevents mastery in any one field. While I've lived in that world for a long time and I've worn many hats, I'm learning to stay in a zone that I feel comfortable with. You know how men have those, what are they called? The pocket knives, Swiss Army knife. And it has a little gadget for everything. I've been a Swiss Army knife for a long time, and I bet you a lot of you women have done the same thing. You pull that thing out for anything, and you can fix this, you can cut that, there's a screwdriver, there's a flathead, I don't even know what's all in it. My husband has one, and I haven't really looked at it, but you might be that utility person on your job. You might be that utility person at work or at home. But if you're just constantly expending all your energy trying to put out fire, all the things, wow, think about what that does to your spirit and your body. At some point, we just have to step back and go, yeah, I'm glad I can jump in when needed. I don't negate that at all. I'm glad that a season has been there where I can just put me in, coach, wherever you need me. But at some point in the Empty Nexter season, we have to step back and go, Jesus, where do I really need to be? Where do I need to give all my heart to? I hope you guys can hear my heart in this one. Don't call in, crawl in. Now, if I get a little snarky on this one, please forgive me. But this is a phrase I came to absolutely, I don't like to use the word hate. I abhor this phrase. It was overused in my life for several years. And I want to say, here's what it means. It's often used in the workplace with a tough, no excuse culture, emphasizing that employees should come to work no matter what, unless they are absolutely unable. It implies that being sick or facing personal difficulties is not a valid reason to miss work. And if you can still move, even if barely, you should show up. While some see this as a sign of dedication and perseverance, others criticize it for promoting unhealthy work habits, burnout, and disregarding personal well-being. Whoa, y'all. If you have anyone say this to you, please reach out to me. I will rescue you if I can, and we will run far, far away. Don't get caught in that trap. It is not don't call in, crawl in. We do not live under that kind of pressure. We live under it's okay to say no. We're giving ourselves permission to say no, right? We're saying yes to the word no. And this one, I just put it on here because I thought it was so ridiculous. I thought, you can rest when you're dead. Seriously? Like, who wrote that? But it was out there. It says the phrase, you can rest when you're dead, is a way of saying that people should work hard, stay active, and push through challenges rather than taking breaks or being idle. It often implies a relentless work ethic or living life to the fullest without slowing down. The only thing I agree with that phrase is living life to the fullest. Because as I've said before, we want to live full and let the Lord pour us out in whatever way as we are sitting at his feet asking him, Lord, pour me out. Use me for your purpose. I don't want to be just used up for just for the sake of running around, but I want to live my life to the fullest in your purpose. And saying yes to everything is not the best. Is anybody relating to this? Is it just me? I hope it's not me. I'm by myself. So, when we think about the yes and no and being okay to say no and all the things, you can't close out this podcast episode without bringing up our girls, Martha and Mary. So we're going to kind of do a little bit of a comparison of what they are like and how we can learn and kind of mash up the two of them so that we can kind of be Mary and Martha. If anybody has a good name for them, a mashup name, let me know. So we can be more like Mary by prioritizing our time with God. I think you all know that that's the important part. Every morning, find it. I used to not do the morning devotion. I would try to get it in whenever. Now it's a priority, and how I long for that time. Remember, Matthew 6:33 says, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added. That means you knowing when to say yes and when to say no. But serve with a right heart like Martha. Work hard. Don't let busyness become a distraction. Galatians 3:23, whatever you do, whatever your task, work from your soul. That is, put in your very best effort as something done for the Lord and not man. It's okay to work hard at whatever you're doing, but just don't do it out of guilt and fear and worried about people thinking you're not helpful or kind. That's not what it's about. Remember, we're giving you permission to say no. Ask God to guide you. We need to find the balance between the doing and the being. Before serving, we sit. Take time with Jesus. That's number one. We work from a place of peace, not pressure. We do not let the pressure make us say yes. Mary wasn't lazy, and Martha wasn't wrong for working. I think Martha just got a little distracted by letting that motivate her. We need to set boundaries again. Martha let her task consume her, while Mary knew how to stop and listen. And then we have to shift our mindset. Instead of seeking for approval from people because we say yes, we shift our mindset to see that work and worship, they're not separate. We need to see it that work is an act of worship. As you, whatever you're doing, make that part of your worship. Serving those babies, loving on those babies, serving at church, at your job, in the community, whatever you do, you have to serve with a merry heart and with Martha hands, doing your task with peace instead of stress, and be fully present whether you're working or at rest. So a simple reminder before I close. When life gets overwhelming, be more like Mary. Pause, pray, and refocus. When it's time for work, be like Martha, but don't do it with worry. Just do it with joy. You know when to say yes. I think deep inside of all of us, we know when to say yes and when to say no. Remember that scripture, let your yes be yes and your no be no. So I did find a hymn. I love to find old hymns that apply to what the episode is about. And I had to go back in the archives on this one, and it's an updated version. It's called Rest in Him, Let Go of Striving. Rest in Him, let go of striving. Cease your busy, anxious ways. In the quiet, find His presence. Let His peace fill all your days. He has called you to be still now. In His love, find rest and grace. Lay your burdens down before Him. Feel His comfort in this place. Rest in Him, let go of striving. Trust His love and trust His ways. He will guide you. He will lead you. In His peace, your heart will stay. So this hymn just basically encourages us to choose rest over busyness or just to say no. Trusting that God's guidance is going to bring peace and replace that need for constant activity. It's a reminder that God doesn't call us to live in a state of hurry. He invites us to rest in His presence and trust in Him. Oh, I tell you what, that every time I go over these notes and even record this for you guys, I'm just so reminded that I can say yes to the word no and be okay. So I want you to be able to say yes to the word no and be okay also, no matter what the season, no matter who's listening. I just hoped and pray today was an encouragement for you. I hope it caused you to maybe look at things from a different viewpoint, because boy, I sure am being set free in some areas to where it's okay if I have to say no. No doesn't mean I'm not valued and loved and needed. No just means I'm taking a little bit more time to think through what really is important to me at the moment. And right now, it's focusing on what God needs me to do. And sometimes resting and just refreshing is that thing. So as you go out and live your best next, I pray you have the ability to say yes when needed and no when necessary. So go out and have the best one. Have a great one.